We are here with Andrew W.K. Here at Toyota Pavilion at Montage Mountain in Scranton. And my first question for you seems like it doesn't make sense because it is, why do you always wear white? But you often wear white, not right now, so why white?
Well, I wear all kinds of clothes, as you've noticed now. I like to balance it out, actually, to be honest. A lot of the day today I'll be wearing white, so for part of the day I'm also going to be wearing all black to help, again, just create a balance there. And then also there's days when I would wear any other color, any other kind of clothes. I mean, I tend to like to wear clothes that I wouldn't normally wear or wouldn't like to wear, at least in the past. I used to have a much more set idea of what my style was and who I was and how I identified that. And then I realized that it's just fun to wear clothes, and sometimes it's fun to wear clothes that you never would normally think you would wear. It's just a different style of pants or a different kind of shoe, and to realize that who you are has nothing to do with how you look, and it's just fun. So I gotta just say how much I love clothes and fashion in general because of dressing up like that. White, though, just shows up against black stage very well. That's the only reason the all white I really chose that, and it's also easy to maintain.
In an interview with our staff writer Nikki Mascalia, maybe a couple days ago, you mentioned Waffle House, and there is a local one. Are you planning to check that out?
Well, that's fantastic. There is one here. I was always wondering how far north they went, and the fact that they have them here in Pennsylvania is fantastic. That's a big encouraging. More Waffle Houses hopefully will appear further north. And my dream, of course, is that someday they will open one in New York City. Because even if they didn't make money on it, it would be such a great promotion, as so many of the businesses in Times Square, for example, aren't necessarily making money, but it's like an advertising thing. So Waffle House, if you open one in Manhattan, I will do everything I can to eat there as often as possible, bring all my friends there, and support the business to make sure it's a success.
I stopped by your tent before, saw some merch, and a lot of it, your face is bloodied. Could you explain that?
Well, the first album cover we have is the album I Get Wet. The first Andrew W.K. album has a bloody cover. It's me with a bloody nose. And I always thought a bloody nose was, on one hand, very perhaps eye-catching or exciting, maybe shocking to some people, but I also thought everybody could relate to it. I thought it was the one kind of injury or one kind of showcase for blood that everyone probably has had, whether it's your grandmother or your little sister. I mean, I think everyone's had a bloody nose. Now, maybe not one quite as severe as the one shown in the cover, but I just decided to run with it because no one else had done a bloody nose thing like that, just common as it is. I hadn't really seen someone take ownership of bloody noses, so I now want to consider myself to be the king of bloody noses and the king of partying.
Have you gotten to check out any bands this tour that you've really, maybe become a fan of?
Absolutely. I mean, that's of course one of the fun parts about the tour, is getting to hear music live every day and developing a relationship with it that's different than normal listening on a stereo. I mean, seeing a band every day, you learn, you notice things that maybe one show would seem like a quirk or a fluke, but then you realize that it's something they fine-tune and they're developing. So the education for an entertainer to be out here, it always is life-changing. It really is. I mean, I've already learned tricks of the trade this time around, and I've been in the business almost 10 years now, so bands are always bringing something new to the table. My mind is always being opened, and it's an inspiring environment to be in.
What were some bands, kind of on the flip side of that, early on, before you had a career, that maybe inspired you to do this and see this as a possible career for yourself?
There weren't any bands in particular, other than the friends I grew up with in high school, who had groups, of course, of their own, did a lot of music, did a lot of creative work. But it was more the way they approached life, which was that you could do what you wanted when you wanted, and that if life didn't offer you that, it was your own responsibility to change your life until it could be that way. And so I was just shown this example. I had role models who I could mimic, who lived life on their own terms in a very aggressive way, but I was young enough and exposed to it in such an intense way that I just took it for granted, in a good way, where I just assumed, okay, that's what you do. You get older, you live on your own, and then you do exactly what you enjoy, whatever you're good at, whatever appeals to you. And you figure out what it is that you're good at by, I guess, listening to your emotions. When you have fun doing something, that's a good sign that maybe you could be doing it more, and maybe you should be doing it for your whole life. So I sort of enjoyed performing and show business stuff and figured that was what I was meant to do. And again, when you have mentors like that can impart wisdom on you, they will take you above your own abilities. And when you have a cause or a vision or something that you believe in so strongly, like I do in partying, then it's very easy to find that inertia, that energy to keep going, because you're not working for yourself, you're working for the greater good of this vision, which is everybody having fun all the time. And that's what makes me get up every morning, is that I'm not supporting just some little thing, or even me. I'm not supporting my story or expressing myself. I'm here to work for the greater power of partying, which is joy. The source of joy and love throughout the world, and that's a very noble cause, and I'm humbled by it every day. All I try to do is give my best. I'm an employee for that cause.
The different aspects of what you're up to, the different mediums you work in, different, whether it's production or music. Are there certain things you haven't done that maybe you want to start doing? Certain, more acting or stuff like that.
Well, acting is interesting for sure. I've often thought about that. The hard thing is to not laugh. I've noticed that when you're trying to act out a serious scene, or maybe trying to cry in some scene, or sometimes just with my friends we'll try to play out a scene just to see if we can do it. And a lot of my friends can, but sometimes you just want to crack up because it gets so serious. But yeah, acting is fun. I've never really done it to the extent that I would like, so maybe, yeah, that's going to be a fun thing. I appreciate you suggesting it. I'm working on a book. Now, this is something I've been had in the works for a few years now, just waiting for the right time to do it. It's a book about partying and not so much how to party, but I guess why to party, and to let people figure out how they're going to on their own, but really set a tone for why it's important, to me at least. And then I've also, of course, new albums and all that. I would like to work on some paintings maybe at some point, or do something that's visual without performance, something you can hang on the wall or set in a corner. I used to do a lot more of that kind of visual work, but when I got into to entertaining, I realized you could, if you had a visual art interest, you could do all of that as well in show business, whether you're creating the set for a video, whether you're painting your album cover. I mean, show business is really the best to me, because you can do everything creative, and it's allowed here. Any type of art, any type of creative production, there's room for it here. It's amazing.
Well, that's really all the questions we had, but is there anything you wanted to mention? Anything you just felt like talking about?
Sure. Coors is a beautiful type of beer. You'll notice it has a cream-colored can. That's how you can differentiate it from its more pale brothers. It has a beautiful, flowing, babbling brook right here cascading over these rocks. That's the sign of a cold-activated can, and the mountains turning blue indicates that the vented top wide mouth is ready to be opened and enjoyed.
Thanks a lot, Andrew.
Well, thank you.